Welcome. All righty. So, yeah, we're doing the 5 minutes before deal. You guys, by the way, congrats. You guys know the deal. I'm looking across the board. Suzanne, Bonnie, let's see here, Antonio, Paul, everyone. You guys know the deal. I thought it'd be cool to start off to here today. I was having some thoughts with us just on the cusp of, or just on the heels of National Optimal Health Day and that great call that Dr. A did. I thought it'd be kind of cool. I don't know if you guys did like I did. I reflected kind of a ton on how much my life has changed in every area of my health. So kind of starting off today, I feel like coming from a place of gratitude is what makes the best health coach. And that's kind of what we're doing here with this call anyway. So who wants to just pop off and just share anything that you've been grateful for that's transformed in your health, or anything that you're just grateful for, small, big, doesn't need to be any great thoughts. Most of us here are still working on our coffee. So go ahead and pop off mute and go ahead and share away.
I'll share.
Go for it. I see a few people raising your hands. Yeah, just go for it. Just go ahead and unmute. Go for it.
Good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing? My name is Antonio. I'm from Tracy, California. You probably know me already before, but I'm sure there's a lot of new coaches here that are doing the do, like what Brad and Ash has been telling us, the consistency. Here's my wife, Annie.
Good morning.
Okay. So anyway, Brad has been helping us a lot, and what I want to share is about a few things that we've learned through the years that we've been coaching and being coached by awesome mentors like Brad and Ashley, Terry, and David. A few things is, one is we really need to lean to our mentors. The reason being is we've been coaching for 5 years now, and we thought that we pretty much know what we need to do with ideas and everything. However, we still miss a little bit here and there, but we just grabbed Brad and asked some questions, and he gave us a tip that we totally forgot. So that only tells you that you really have to lean with your mentors. You might miss something. Taught us how to do numbers. The numbers are so awesome. It's not hocus pocus. It's you expect what you expect, the expectations. It's really straightforward. Planting seeds is crazy. Frontline volume that we have currently, I'm sure we have coaches here who has clients that goes maybe for a month only or two. But with all of the planting seeds that we have, like the 3-and-3, 3-3-3, asking your close friends to post your before and after pictures, those are things that really help us with our frontline volume. Because of that, we have some clients that are new. We have clients that are coming in as a group because of all of the planting seeds that we've been doing. And with the numbers that we've learned from Brad and Ashley how to do it, we were able to finish our month strong with our health coaches. I'm sure you guys know about this, that in the beginning of the few months of coaching, it's very stressful at the end of the month. However, with all of the things that we've learned, it's not as stressful anymore. We know what to expect. And lastly, what we're working on right now is, if we know how to do this, what we want to do is also teach this to our health coaches as well, because duplication is the key. If Brad and Ash is telling us what to do, we want to make sure that we do it, and also we teach it to our health coaches, so they will be successful as us like what we are doing right now. That's what my thoughts are.
Well, Antonio already shared everything. What I can say is success doesn't happen overnight. If plan A doesn't work, there's a B, a C, all the way Z. All the way to Z. There were several alphabets in there are letters in the alphabet. So 26 letters in the alphabet. So there are so many plans there. Thank you, Brad, for your mentorship.
I love it, guys. It sounds like you guys are thankful for a lot of good structure in your business right now. So congrats. Good tips. And I can tell that you're excited about it because you have a lot of people getting healthy because of the things you've learned. Let's go back here before we kick it off. I know we're kind of getting our coffee going. By the way, let's see it. Who's rocking their coffee? I'm rocking this coffee this morning. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, you guys got yours. I didn't have time to make my own coffee. Let's do a couple more. And again, for those that are joining in, you can be thankful for whatever you want. But I brought up on the idea of just on the heels of National Optimal Health Day, you know, what are you grateful for has changed in your life from the last little bit? Just anything. It could be business. It could be your health. Go ahead and pop off here. I saw a few people raising their hands. Go ahead and push off mute and you guys can speak.
I will. Go, oh, Bonnie, you please. Go, Bonnie. Go.
Bonnie.
Oh, hey. Good morning. Mine's going to be short and sweet. What I'm thankful for is not just the business changing my life, but I told one of my coaches this week, because she is rocking. Her story's so amazing. And I said, you know what? I'm not just thinner. I'm younger. And I believe that. I've gotten younger. And so I can keep up with all the grandkids so much easier. And I feel like I've captured back some of my life that I have lost. So I feel like Optavia has given me back a big chunk of my life, even going forward, because I was in such a depressed place before this. I just had to resign myself to be a fat old grandma. And now I just feel like a young, vibrant grandma. And I'm so thankful. And my coaches and mentors, you're a big part of that. And so I love you guys. I love this program. I love the opportunity. I love all of it. It's just life-changing.
Oh, Bonnie, I love it. That's what's so cool about this is that's what we're giving people. We're giving people life. That's what I kind of feel like myself. Like, I got double Bonnie here. Bonnie, you're on the call twice. How'd you do that?
Well, that's my computer doesn't have audio, so I like the big screen, but I need my phone for the audio. I'm technically challenged. That part of my brain hasn't gotten younger.
Over time it will, though. That's awesome. Let's do one more as we kick off today. I just find that coming from a place of gratitude, and I don't know, we just had our second one, I feel like completely blessed in so many ways that I would take up this entire call if I talk. Let's do one more. Anyone that wants to share anything. Bonnie's yours was awesome.
Can I go?
Yeah.
I agree with Bonnie. When I started the program, I was 53. I had just lost my mom. My store was falling apart. I could barely walk, and I'm so grateful. My daughter last year had her baby at 30 weeks, and he was a preemie. And if I wouldn't have had my health journey, I wouldn't have been able to keep up with everything. I also have a brain injury 36 years ago, and my health journey has helped me in so many ways. Mentally, my mindset has changed, and I came from being a victim of that brain injury to being victorious, and I am just so grateful for life itself. And I'm grateful for my little grandson. I have 5 grandchildren, but my little grandson, he turned a year old on the 28th, and he is so amazing. And so my heart is really, really full because he was born at 2 pounds, 1 ounce. And he is so full of life and energy, and it's hard to keep up. And if I would still be where I was in that state of misery, state of victim, I would definitely not be able to keep up with everything. And I'll be able to walk all the halls and everything that I had to do and be mentally there for my daughter and grandson was amazing. I about lost both of them. So I'm just grateful. Thank you so much for this amazing program. I love it. Thank you for letting me share.
Dylan, you went in the perfect spot. I don't know if anyone could possibly top that. So I just want to say congratulations. I remember meeting you when you had just started your health journey. We started walking. We were over at Multnomah Falls. And it's cool to see how much has changed in your life because of that. And that's what I love starting off with this, is because gratitude is such a habit of health, but also it's a habit of a good health coach. If you can remember this is what we're doing in people's lives and coach to those things, that's what will change your business. And that's what we're doing here today. So let me share my screen and let's get started. And while I'm doing that, open up the chat. Where's everyone tuning in from today? Like, hopefully not a place that's had a natural disaster recently. Because that's what I was kind of joking with Dawn about as we started off this call. I was like, oh my gosh, like we've had an incredible month despite, let's see here. I couldn't see the trees in front of my house at one point because we had so many wildfires. We've had hurricanes, floods, and we're all still here. So congrats on an amazing month minus everything that's happened. Let's see here. Last month in August, we did a training series on how to become a really good health coach. We had all the people trained that ran over $10,000 in frontline volume, and we decided to carry that over into this month. Except once you train all the basics, it always is the basics. You know, Kelly, I'm looking at you on my screen here. You do the basics every single day. We still do celebration calls, like all the fun stuff. We do the basics every single day. That's what keeps it simple. That's what grows a business. And it's just being consistent on that really makes a difference long term. So we decided to say, well, there's not much more to train. So let's take everyone that wants to continue their consistency and let's have a power hour. Let's practice doing the things that we learned and let's do it together. Let's get around people like Lynn and Antonio and Annie and Bonnie that want to take their health and move their life, not become victims, that want to take ownership of where they're going everywhere and change lives around them. Let's get together. Let's learn from each other. Let's do a short learning topic, and then let's get into action. And when we're in action, we can ask questions as well. So that's what we're doing today. And this is our finale call, but it's also our Jumpstart Your Month call. So for all you new coaches, we always connect at the beginning of the month to kick off the month together, to set up ourselves for success, to focus on those next few steps, to learn how to do it, and to honestly celebrate. The only thing is today landed on the last day of the month, not the first day. We weren't going to wait a week because you don't wait a week to start off the month. But here's the thing that I also want to congratulate you guys on this month is many of you guys finished up this month nice and early. Like the way we always talk about, we always know how many days are in a month. So make a plan to finish up the day. Enjoy your smiley faces the last day. Kick back, realize it. Go for bonuses. Maybe help a few extra people because you feel like it. Maybe add on top of that. But mostly set up a vision for what you want to accomplish next month. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do a few things today, actually. We're going to help you set up your month with success. We're going to have a few tips for you here. Keeping it simple, all the things that have been working for you guys. We're going to have time to focus on one things that the pros do, because this is all based on the people that coach the best and showing you all the things, the mindsets that people do. One of the things that the people that coach the best, they pause every so often to cast a vision for where they want to go. And that's what we're going to do today, because we're on the cusp of the holiday season and businesses, lives change. People that will transform many lives will be built by what you do in this season. I mean, we build them by what we do in every season, but this particular season ahead is actually very special. We're going to show you some things on that. We're going to show you some things on how to finish the month strong if that's where you're at today. A few people are on the cusp of those edge of being somewhere that to that next rank. And then we're going to have some work time on all of this. But overall, I just wanted to congratulate you all because you guys are doing what's on this slide here. You know, we talked about like success is not that straight line. It really is a bunch of squiggly lines. Some of you had your squiggly lines this month. I actually had a few people say to me, hey, I'm having my squiggly lines this month so I can earn my success in the next few months. And I thought that was great. And I definitely had a few people be like, wow, my squiggly lines are definitely more on the right-hand side this last little bit. But overall, I love that graphic at the top left-hand corner, just that staying consistent. If I can encourage you guys, if that's what this call is all about for this month, is the people that want to stay consistent, because that's where the fun happens, that's where the victories happens, that's where the life changes happen. So real quick celebration, not going to read it all, especially because it's not all done yet, but the Big Thinkers Club, congrats on everyone that ran over 10K this month, and even the people that were really close on finishing it up that today are on here. And our new 10,000 frontline runners, Jennifer and Jan, congratulations. Congrats on joining the club. New rank advancements. Again, we're not even done with the month, so I'm just taking a stab at it, and I've not obviously gotten everyone. We'll have to do official celebrations later. But Lee, congratulations, fully integrated business coach, regional director, 3 months in a row. Antonio and Annie, fully integrated business coaches, regionals, first month. New 3-month qualified, fully integrated business coach, April, new regional director, Nicole, and then new executive directors, Mindy and Tim, Michelle, Junice, Suzanne. And then second month, and I wanted to start doing this, I've been meaning to start doing this for a while, is as you continue to help people, it's continuing to grow every single month. And when you reach that rank of leadership of executive director, nothing's more important than your second month, that executive director, and continuing on the process. that's why our business is sustainable. That's why it keeps on growing. So I did want to recognize all those people that moved forward on that. Then obviously all of our new directors, associate directors, managers, and senior coaches. I'm sorry if I didn't catch everyone, like the month's still not done yet. So I just wanted to say, I just love congratulating people like when you guys are doing the work. So I got up extra early today so I could try to take a stab at making sure I got everyone on here. And then I also wanted to celebrate, we have a new rank advancements in our midst, new leadership. Janet reached global director this morning, so let's give her a bunch of congrats on it. She did it while on a trip to Aspen, and we'll hear from her a little bit later at the end of this power hour because she's catching a flight. And we'll celebrate more later for where we're at right now. But what's cool is everyone here is on this path, and many of you guys will reach this rank as you guys keep going and helping more people. But I just wanted to say one thing as a congratulations to her and her support team that works with her so closely. Mute someone real quick. Is what I'd like to celebrate for Janet today. Feel free to send her a message and congratulate along the way. But like, if there's one thing I would like, basically everyone's advancements is a chance to learn. That's how I've always viewed everything. Like everyone's success is a chance to learn from people. Janet is like the ultimate focusing on people person. And that's really what success is in health coaching, is focusing on others. I don't think I've heard her talk about herself one time in her entire life, especially this month. I've only heard her talk about breakthroughs with the people she works with, her clients, her coaches. And I don't even think she knows like to check the back office on checking on Global Director. I know it was her goal, as is anyone who reaches a mark, but she's so focused on helping others and the successes of her team that's what true leadership looks like. And that's when you bust through, is when you focus on others. So congrats to you, Janet, today. We'll hear from you a little bit later on all of that. And then we want to get into today. So I wanted to get through all that pretty quickly because I want to get to the power hour. I'm trying to catch up with the chat. Hold on, it's up to 70 messages here. Let me make sure. Dawn, is there anything in the chat that I need to be aware of? I'm trying to make sure we get enough time for the power hour today.
It's all good, Brad. Tons and tons of congrats for Janet, and just a lot of good stuff sharing. But I'll check it for you and see if there's any questions.
All right. But moreover on that, I'm going to bring it to this slide, and we're going to kind of get set up on setting up for this day, is a congrats to all of you. Like every single one of you. Like Lynn, your victory in your health, your life, your business, the people you're helping. Everyone had versions of their best month ever this month. If you're on this call, you probably had one of your best consistency months, maybe your highest month. It doesn't always culminate in a new rank. We showed a slide that like how to build this business, and sometimes there's competencies and steps that happen between the ranks that are probably even more important than the ranks themselves. Many of you guys reached up past 8,000 frontline volume this last month, which is a huge step in your business and more people getting healthy. Congratulations. Some of you guys earned your first $1,000 consistency rolling bonus on top of your normal compensation. Congratulations. Some of you started your first health coach this month and helped them reach senior coach. Either way, there were so many victories that you can't even begin to accomplish trying to celebrate all of them. But I want you guys to know that a habit of someone changing lives and the successful coaches, they have habits of celebrating what they do well and focusing on what they did well and what they're going to do better at. So I just think that's all really cool. Many of you guys have that skill set down. Actually, I just need to break it up talking, Dawn. Do you want to say anything to anything that I'm saying here?
No, Brad, yes. For one thing, I'm loving, so the chat, you guys, is blowing up. Tons and tons of congratulations. But you know what? The reason we get together on a Saturday morning is because this energy grows and it's contagious. And so, Brad, I love this slide, and I love that you're going to break down in a little bit what this means. But what we do now and the people that we reach out to, the people we let know we're thinking about them, like Janet pouring into her team and caring most about them, it builds over time. Like what Annie and Antonio said, nothing happens overnight. So I love the slide, Brad, because what this is showing that everything builds over time, and it's just a component of staying consistent in the service of others, staying focused on what the bigger mission is, staying grateful, pausing, and really taking a moment to kind of cast that vision on what you want to create. So that's all I want to say, Brad. I'm excited because I know what's coming next. I know the next few slides.
All right. Well, and I will get into that. Before we get in there today, I find that, again, learning from others is probably one of the greatest things that I've learned through this process, is the ability to learn and draft off of others and what other things work for them, but also may not work exactly for you. So I wanted to bring on a few people here to celebrate the consistency from the past few months, just to share some of the things that have changed in their lives, their business, and all that in between. So one of them was Suzanne. Suzanne, are you there? I wanted you to come off. So new executive director. Are you there?
Is that, you right hear me now?
There you go. That unmute button, it gets a little sticky in the morning. But I wanted you to come off, Suzanne. So one, congratulations, new executive director. Totally consistent through this process. And you didn't even hit it bare minimum. You hit it day early in a short month, and you went way over the 6,000 frontline volume mark. So I'm actually going to use your map as an example when we set up this month, but I just wanted to give you the floor to just share like a few things that have worked for you this last few months. So the people that are the new coaches on the line, the ones that are moving that direction, they can glean off that and be like, okay, I want to be just like Suzanne. I'm moving that direction. So anything that was huge for you this last little bit, go for it.
Well, first of all, this copy and consistency, I can't even tell you what it has done for me. And I listen, and it, you know, the best of the best, and hear it from the pros. And I've listened to all of you, and all of you that have shared. You have no idea what your wisdom has done for me. The biggest thing for me, that shift to get to this point, was my mindset. To realize, yes, we have the best program out there, and I believe in that to the core. So I come present, like Allison. Allison, you there? I'm not weird anymore. I was weird all the time. I felt uncomfortable, and now I'm excited. I know this is the best program, and being with you all every Saturday morning, it's like osmosis. All your wisdom and positivity just penetrates. And I do everything that you guys say to do. I do. The 3 and 3, getting on Facebook, making those connections, being consistent with conversations, being present on Facebook, having a positive presence, all have just really helped me. And I just cannot thank all of you, and those of you that have shared. You just don't realize how much you have given to me personally. So thank y'all.
I love it. You even adopted the y'all through this process. I love it. Suzanne, this was so great. I loved everything you said, especially the weird part. I remember you hopping on a call literally because you were like, I need help with the health assessment. I feel like I'm too robotic. So I love it. Just even getting comfortable with you in the process. Congratulations, Suzanne, and great tips. There's another person I wanted to bring on, and speaking of the pay it forward, I wanted to bring on Nicole. Used to be a different last name, now it's Rodriguez. So Nicole, are you there?
I am. Good morning, everybody.
How do you get up so early? How do you I haven't even showered yet. How do you look like put together?
I don't have a newborn,
Oh.
so that's probably it, I'm guessing.
All right, I wanted to brag on you and share as one, because showing those steps is one, you hit over the 8,000 frontline volume mark this month. You have completely changed your health. You're very consistent in this. Newly married, honeymoon, new regional director, all of this, and you do it all with a full-time job. So you really actually embody everything that we talk about, just huge. And I just wanted to see if you could share some tips. I wanted to celebrate you today, but also just if people could glean from your story on this, because it's pretty awesome what you put into effect. And I actually would like to share one thing, if hopefully you're okay with it, is your business wasn't even at a senior coach business last December. You had really focused on other areas of your life, kind of let coaching go. Some people feel like if they take a step back in their business from life, they really don't know if they can jump back in. Look what you built in less than a year, and you completely were off the radar, what was it, 9 months ago. So just some things that have changed your life, or some things that you could tangibly share that would have made the difference for you. And congratulations on the step you took this last month.
Thank you. Yeah. I have so much to obviously celebrate and be thankful for in my life. And I think in this last, in the last couple of months, I realized I started to just have this click that that we have, this business that we have, the drive that we have, it's actually something solid for the future. It's not something to be afraid of. And I finally was able to kind of push the fear aside. And I said to myself, like, I'm setting myself up for something really great that's going to open up so many opportunities for me in the years to come and can make some other additional dreams of mine come true. And so once that mind shift happened, and I continued with jumping on the trainings and being super consistent and leading with my own health, like the more people continue to see me stay healthy almost 3 years later, that made a huge difference. Plugging into my support team, having you, Brad, and Denise always there and mirroring my crazy schedule. Because yes, I do work full time, but I like joining in on the fun. And so I found the organizational pieces of these trainings, keeping it simple, putting it back to the basics, scheduling things in, and not trying to just create random schedules while I'm driving to all of my different clients, because that's where I started to get overwhelmed. So once I was no longer overwhelmed because I had a rock solid schedule, like it simplified the process, and it made me realize like I can do this and still have a full-time career, and I can still enjoy this and make a full-time income off of doing this in the cracks of my day. And it's been so incredible to experience.
I love it, Nicole. There's so many awesome, so many things that you said there are spot on, and I love. But I think I love the biggest part is like what the value is long term. I think I butchered what exactly it is you said there, but it's so smart on, because we have kind of a joke that you're a powerhouse. You have a full-time career. Life's a little bit different than when you turned 30 a couple of years ago. It's a complete 180 around here, and so it's pretty amazing what we get to offer to people. I have a quick just question for you, because so many people are either busy parents, young parents, or full-time careers that are doing the nooks and crannies. At one point, you were actually stressed out by this, and I don't find you to be stressed out, and you're getting more done and not stressed out, and you're having fun. Just share a couple things that you actually mentally put into place, like that really made a difference, because you're doing more, and now you're not stressed from a time when you were stressed and you were doing less. So just maybe give some tips on that, because I think everyone's like, I want that.
Yeah. I honestly realized I had to stop in those moments where I felt like I was really overwhelmed. I mean, it sounds kind of, I guess, a little cheesy, but really you have to do some stop, challenge, choose in those moments. And so I started to apply it, because if you think about it, your thoughts are a behavior. Just like the food that you put in your mouth, whatever you do, your workouts, it's all behavior. I'm a behaviorist, so I don't know if anybody else is in that field too. But so when I look at it from that perspective, I have to stop in those moments, and literally it's like practicing mindfulness. Like, why are you thinking this way? Why is it that you're putting yourself into this situation? Because you have a support team that's available to you. You have the structure that's available to you. Like, you need to take a moment, calm down, pick 2 things to get done, choose to do it and be over with it, and then move on to the next thing. So the more I just kept practicing that and realizing like I could be in control over my stress levels, and I didn't have to take it to like the 100th degree, it made a huge difference. And it was actually things that I was just even able to apply like at work, in my daily life with relationships. And I thought, wow, this goes beyond like your actual physical health. It goes into stop, challenge, and choose for your mental health. And it makes a world of a difference. And it's okay to take a moment and say, give me 5 minutes, let me bring myself together, and I will come up with the game plan. So, yeah.
All right. That's why I show up every Saturday morning right there alone, like the people around yourself. Nicole, amazing stuff. Congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
I just to give people a quick overview, when you turned 30, it was not the life you were really excited about. You were honestly depressed about. You turned your life around, in every aspect. Congratulations, just on everything.
Thank you.
Thanks for the good tips this morning. I love it. We're going to do one more. Jen, are you there this morning? See if she's there.
I'm here.
All right. Congratulations. I met you at convention as a brand new health coach. I still don't know how you decided to go when you were a coach for like a week, but you made the 10,000 Frontline Volume group, the Big Thinkers Club, this month. So one, congratulations. And just, if you could, just share some things. You dove in to this last season. What has been working for you that you want to pass on, share with your, future coaches and the people of this group? And like, what's been going well for you that's helping you change so many lives?
Yeah, I think for me, from the very start, I kind of I jumped in. I was a coach for, I think, 4 days, and I decided to go to convention, and that kind of kick-started me because I just decided, if I'm gonna do this, I'm all in. And, I think, can you turn that off, please? I am on a call. Sorry. I have 4 daughters, okay? And we're doing a garage sale outside. But we've got Hamilton in my background. So turn it off, please. Sorry. No. Okay. You know what? I'm going to have to go somewhere else, I think. All right. So anyway, that's my life. So when you were talking about that squiggly line, okay, that is so my life. Like craziness, like crazy with 4 kids. I work full time. I'm a teacher. And I have had to really shift my mind because things like that happen and I just go, oh my gosh. But anyway, the thing that I think is really worked is being able to really connect with people and care about people because people need to be listened to. And that's really something I've learned over the course of the last couple months is that, these people that I'm talking to, they're real people. They're real people. And I'm not trying to sell them something. I'm trying to help them with their life. I talked to a lady yesterday who right up front said, I'm a heavy drinker. I'm a smoker. I know I need to stop those things. I'm in the midst of quite possibly getting a divorce with my husband. Things are just not well. They're rocky. And you know what? I did a health assessment on her, but more than anything, I talked to her about her life and I listened. And I said, you know what? This plan can actually save your marriage potentially. If you change your health and you get to a place where you're healthy and maybe you stop drinking, stop smoking, and your body's getting healthy and your husband sees that and he wants to jump in and get healthy, there's a good chance that this could change your entire life. And so I guess for me, not that I'm even like a counselor person or anything like that, but I'm just a real person speaking to a real person and trying to kind of listen and be there for them and help them with, whatever they have going on in their lives, whether it's food addiction, alcohol addiction, whatever. And so I think like for me, that's been just key is listening to them, figuring out where they are in their life and just being there for them. Because ultimately, I don't sell food. Right? I want to health coach people. I want to be there for them when they need someone to be on their side and be their cheerleader. And so for me, I think that's what's just been working well.
I would say that's working really well for you, Jen. Like, there's no surprise why you reached the 10,000 frontline volume mark. It's a lot of people you're helping because that's what happens when you focus on people and you plug them into the systems. Congratulations, and that was a phenomenal tip. And I love the real life example, like the kids hanging off you. If anyone thinks that it's perfect for everybody, it's not. That's actually kind of what my life looks like, except it's more like a naked boy running around. And love the tips. Thank you today, Jen.
Yep.
Super awesome. All right, I'm going to jump back into the slide here because I want to make sure we have time for the power hour today. Hold on a second. There we go, I'm back. And we could have pulled a bunch of people to share on this. So I hope you guys are sitting there thinking right now, like, what am I doing extremely well that I'm bringing value to on this? Because there's so much insight. That's why I want to bring this in. I mean, I could keep on talking or we could do the power hour, but I find so much value in hearing other people. I think Suzanne, one thing we talked about yesterday when we were celebrating, you were like, I found out not how to not be weird, but I found out how to make my voice happen in the middle of these systems. So everyone just keep working your groove, dive into these systems, they work. And so before we jump into like the hands-on working time today, I wanted to show you guys something. First of all, I hope you guys have your maps, your 3, 3, and 3, all of those things. I know I've already seen them flying over, like Tracy Ackerman, you had yours done yesterday. It was like, yeah, you're super on top of it. But there's a few things I want to show you guys today. I want to take a little bit of different approach than just setting up your month. We're going to do that. But one thing I want to bring up to your attention is kind of like what Dawn said is building connections, building competencies, things getting simpler with time, because it is practice. I mean, at first, I think this is what our pastor said at church last week. He said, at first it'll seem like it's a discipline, but eventually it'll seem like it's intuitive. And that's really what we're talking about doing here. And that means that we're also making connections too. Remembering that we're building one step at a time. I hope you guys remember this slide, understanding the points and realizing that every victory is people getting healthy, but it's also your step to the next step of where you're building to. And kind of like Nicole was kind of pointing to, is like the value in what we're building in this long time. Not only are we growing ourselves, not only are we creating accountability, not only are we creating income, but income that stays. Like Lindsay, I want to give you a congratulations. Anyone ever take a 3-week, honeymoon to Europe and have their business grow? Like that kind of stuff. Anyone have a baby and be able to stay focused and be at home with the family and not stress and not have to take a pay cut during that time? That's what we're building here, and so much more. So just remembering the steps along the way. But before we get into like setting up your month, what I'd encourage you guys, because going back to all of this is all rooted in what are the people that do the same things over and over that create success. Well, what do? Periodically, they pick their head up and they say, all right, where am I really moving towards in my life? Where am I really building towards? And are those things lining up? So creating a vision. Right now, we're about to go into a holiday season. Holiday season is a time where typically people gain weight or get depressed or whatever the case may be, get stressed out. Blah, blah, blah. That's actually where it's our time to shine. And honestly, relationships, examples, inspiration, hope will be given to people during the season if we stay the course in what we're doing. And I've seen businesses built in January from the action that was done in November, December, October. Everything is a culmination of what you're doing the few months before. But I would encourage you guys today, as you're kind of creating a vision, like to get a little bit higher perspective. When you stay consistent, where will your life, where will your coaching, where will it be by whenever you want? I personally like 3 to 6 months goals, because that's like close enough to do something about it. But 1 month's not enough time to really do anything crazy. But in 3 to 6 months, you can really transform your life. So let's just say January. Where will you guys be in January if you continue this action? Many of you guys weren't even coaches 3 months ago. Where will you be in 3 months from now if you keep along this path? Will you be helping 50 or more people a month? Will you be making, $3,000 to $5,000 a month? There's so many possibilities. I'm just throwing out examples, but just taking a second to really figure out what drives for you. And we'll get to more of this later, but if you're not familiar with the term structural tension, it's in the Habits of Health book. I highly recommended it, but that's the fundamental piece of everything that creates success in our life, from Dr. A. And basically it's a combination of figuring out where am I at right now and where do I want to be in everything that matters. So just going through this example, how many people will I be helping? And if I really keep this up, Nicole, how many people will you be helping? How many more people will change their lives? Where will you be in your health? Jen, if you keep doing this, how many more people, how many marriages will be saved? How much will your income increase? Will you be able to leave teaching? Because, that's a career that doesn't really, create a lot of, how will we say, happy life for a lot of teachers. Like, it's not a very good environment. It's not easy, those kind of things, all those things there, what can I get out of debt? All of those things that you want to accomplish. Where do I want to be? Or what do I want to have more of in my life? Do I possibly want to leave a career? Do I, X, Y, Z, do I want to buy a house? Whatever the case may be, I can't go over all the millions of examples, but something for you is the time for right now is where will I be by consistency in the season? And that's what really drives us. I won't get into, there's actually science behind why this all works, but I'm not going to get into that. But this is a good time to figure all that out because it'll be built by this next season and continuing this consistency. I want to also talk about connections today. The last 2 months have been all about connections. Jen, you just literally knocked it out of the park. We're just making connections. And we're setting you up for basic success today on all this. But I just want to show you guys some numbers because, well, one, I'm a numbers guy. Sorry if you aren't. But, different things speak to us and numbers speak to me. So, just staying consistent, 3 connections a day. Do you know what that looks like for 4 months? That's 360 connections with people, touches. Some people like to double that a day, because that's the old Dan Valentine rule. Like, oh man, Doug told me if I did this, I would be successful. Well, I'm going to double it just to make sure because I want to be safe. What if you make 6 connections a day for the next 120 days? That's 720 connections with people, real life people that need health in their life. And just like Jen said, we ain't selling diet food here. You know, we're finding out what people's needs are. Adding 3 friends a day from people you meet out and about, or, you know, people on social media, or connecting on people. That's 360 new friends in 4 months, 120 days. Let's say you continue 3 posts a day, because honestly, most people like decide to get healthy because they see your life, they see your example. It takes 5 to 12 follow-ups generally for people to have that click to be like, oh, I'm ready. Because do you know how many people right now are thinking about you, but you don't realize they're thinking about you? Those that have been coaching for a while know what I'm talking about. You do 3 posts a day, and let's just say you have middle of the road, 1,000 friends on Facebook. And 10% of people see your posts, just so you know that not everyone sees your posts on Facebook. If you do 3 posts a day for the next 120 days, that's 36,000 times people will see and think of you. Just consistency. I'm just bringing up some numbers here. 6 clients a month, that's a great pace to bring on people changing their lives for 4 months. That's 24 people changing their lives over the next few months. Did you know 24 people changing their lives is $8,400 in frontline volume every single month if they're on full program? That's $3,000 a month just from the next few months. I'm just throwing out stats. Did you know 24 people changing their lives? That means there's probably at least 5 coaches in there. If you heard the stories from where we were before, do you know that's like that? Like if we can make those matches, if we can truly show up and be great coaches, there's at least 5 coaches in there. Or at the very least, this is what I like to think, when I'm really connecting with my clients, there's at least, they're an example of somebody else. There's at least 3 clients in there that they probably can pay this forward to if they're not going to coach. That's over 70 referrals for this next season. I don't know. Like, I'm just throwing out numbers. Dawn, you and I talked about this. Did you want to add anything into this real quick before we get into the Power Hour time?
Yeah, Brad,
By the way, Dawn's just a really good example. Dawn's internet just broke this morning because Comcast decided to work on it. So she's operating from her phone this morning. I just love that kind of mindset, just working on that can-do attitude. So Dawn, anything you want to add to this? Just about making connections?
Awesome. Brad, I don't know if anyone else is like, are you a little wide-eyed at this? Are you a little like, holy smokes, the little things that I do well and take the time and put my heart into every single day matter. Can you see how they add up? I don't know, Brad, it's stuff like this that honestly blows my mind. And I'm sure probably a lot of other people's minds, because my brain doesn't naturally extrapolate to that. And so just seeing that the small things done well daily add up to that, and the lives that could potentially be touched, like Jan said, the marriages that could be affected and impacted, that's incredible. So I love that you shared that, Brad. Thank you.
And so what's good here is, like, you know, we talked about this. So the Power Hour time today will basically be on, like, okay, final connections, things you can do. Like if you're like reaching for those 1 to 2 more people that are trying, that you want to see get healthy to reach your goal today, we'll have some time for that. But it's also for you to have some time to set up your month well. How do you create success? You set up your structure or the basics. So Dawn, these are the things, like, this is what I love, is like almost every single month I get to the end of the month and I'm like, oh my gosh, like where do I go? Oh, I just got to get right back into the basics of my routine. Will you help us just like get ruin the basics so that when we take on this holiday season, so we can do those connections that I just talked about? What are the things that the basics that all those people that shared on this call are doing and that you do daily? We have them on the list here, but I thought you could go over them and we can maybe set up some time. If you don't have these set yet, that's what this Power Hour time will be for you today.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, Brad, I'm going to reiterate what we've heard every single person talk about, but maybe I'm going to simplify it and pull it all into one place for us so that you can kind of mentally do a checklist of how am I doing in these areas? And by the way, don't forget to take full account of all the things that you're doing well. So really, we're going to talk about just simply keeping it basic. What is it that the successful people do? Well, we talk a lot about staying consistent, but consistent in what? A lot about being intentional, but intentional in what? And so you've heard all of the amazing examples this morning, and I'm just going to kind of list them out here. So first things first, our health. You've probably been on an airplane and you've probably heard them say, when the oxygen mask come down, you put it on yourself first, right? Well, that's what it is about your health. So we put that oxygen mask on you. How are you doing in your health? We're in the midst of a focus group. We're actually just winding that down this next week, but that does not stop. Our health is something that when we're on fire about that, when you're in fat burn, Allison Petty, a couple weeks ago in Coffee and Consistency, or I can't remember when you said it, but like get on fire for your health, get into fat burn, or wherever you're at in your health, are you solidly taking it to the next level? Because when you are, when I'm excited about my health, when I'm on it, when I'm in fat burn, holy smokes, it's contagious, and it just, it radiates into the world around you, and people around us will be excited, and it's hard to not notice that kind of energy and moving forward and feeling good. So your health, be consistent there, be intentional there. Your map, you guys, our maps, this is my map for September. It's not just something that I fill out and check off my list. It is something that I use daily, and the people that are successful use their maps daily. They fill them out. They add names to them. They're focusing on all of the people, all of the names on here. These are lives being touched, and it's so powerful. So it's not just something to kind of check off your list, but something to fill out and to use. And you know what? If you're not exactly sure how to fill it out or what each section means, Brad's going to break it down and go over a real map here in a little bit. So, and also reach out to your mentorship team. They can help you. So staying consistent in your health, having a map. Look, if you don't have one, do one. That's what the successful people are doing. Mm-hmm. Every single person that shared on this call, I can guarantee, has a map and uses it every day. Your schedule, we've talked about that over the last few weeks. Have your schedule. I love what was shared and what Nicole said, just about not being random, not just randomly fitting things in when you're driving here and there, but actually having a schedule, having it locked in, and then having just knowing that you've got that to fall back on, so there's nothing to stress about. So where's the intentional time? Where is it blocked in actually to your schedule, and working that around, like Jan, the craziness in life, working it around a full-time job. This is flexible, but you'll notice that the people who are really successful and sharing on the call, they have a schedule that they actually do work off of, and it's set there. And so that's something that if you don't have that, it's the beginning of a month. Take the time, look at the next week, block in your on purpose time to do your connections. The 3, 3, and 3, that connections list and our hundreds list, those aren't two separate documents. I've had a lot of people kind of ask, well, how do I use those? And where do they come in? And how do you put them into your schedule? The 3, 3, and 3, you work off of your hundreds list. So if you don't have a hundreds list, print out a fresh one or find it and refresh it. The beginning of the month is a perfect time to do that. And then as you're doing your consistent on purpose time and you're jumping in and doing your 3, 3, and 3, you pull that from your hundreds list. So who are the 3 conversations you're going to start? Well, who's on the top of that hundreds list? Who do you need to follow up with? Who's on your heart? Their names are right there. What posts are you going to do? Who's on the top of that hundreds list? Is it moms? Who are you wanting? If they see your post, who are you wanting to touch, and who do you want to resonate with that? So be intentional about the posts, about the conversations, about the people that you're friending, and make sure everybody's name goes on that 100s list. So those aren't individual separate documents. They actually are designed to be worked together. And then of course, having a binder is important to stay organized. That was one of the most amazing things, Brad, you and Ashley helped me with early on. I was not by nature an organized person. And I remember getting my binder set up, and it like freed my mind to do so many other things and to have so much more time in my day and in my week to get into connection with people and to have those relationships. And so the other thing is the health assessment, you guys. We have a new one. I just kind of wanted to talk about that. It's not new. It's just a new document. It's all the same things that we've already been doing. It's connecting with people. It's what Jan just shared, listening and really finding out what is important to someone. And we're real people connecting with real people. So if you've got a flow and you've got something that's working really well for you, don't stop and change it mid being in your groove, but just know that there's a document that has been simplified. It's the same thing we've always been doing, but it has a flow to it now. So if you want to, make sure you've got a few of those printed out and practice them. Hop on and use it the next couple of times you share with someone and you really listen to them, because it's awesome. Just put a 1 in the chat if you've used the health assessment and you're loving it, because it's great. And then working with your support team and your mentorship, I'm loving it. Those 1s are flying. Working with your support team and your mentorship. I loved what Annie and Antonio shared. I loved what Brad shared about Janet, and just when you are intentional about what you're creating, and when you actually take ownership of what it is that we have in our hands, and you have the ability to touch lives, and your mentor, your health coach, your business mentor is there to help you, we want to hear from you. So please don't hesitate to reach out, but reach out to us. One of the things as a mentor and a mentee I love is that, I'll tell you what I do. I reach out to Brad. He doesn't have to wonder if I want to work with him. I got my hand up. I'm like, hey, Brad, let's grab some time the first of the month. I grabbed time with him on the 15th. He's got my map. He's got my projections. And when we jump on, I can catch him up on what's going on in my life and our business and what I'm excited about in about 15 minutes or less. It's like boom, boom, boom. Because I know what my husband and I, Brian, I know what we're creating. We know what we're excited about. So reach out to your mentors. Let them know that you want to work with them, and always take a stab at it first. If you're brand new and you're figuring out how to fill out your map, there's an awesome recording. Brad rocked it. It's great. Watch it, take a stab at it, but then don't feel like you should know it. I love that Antonio and Annie, you guys shared, you've been coaching for a while, but you still took the time, you slowed down, you reached out, you asked those questions, and you partnered with Brad, and he was able to share some things that you had learned before, but maybe had forgotten or just needed reminding of. So basically, I'm going to wrap up here, Brad, before we kind of jump into getting the Power Hour place started. But just, what do the successful people do? They do these things. They stay consistent every day. They don't worry about reaching out, but they just do it. They reach out, they grab their mentor, they grab some time, they let them know what they're excited about, and they're never shy to ask questions. Brad, anything you want to add there?
Nope, I think it's a good recap there, because I think just like our program, I think about when we got started on program, we just wanted to know it worked and we wanted to know what to do. These are the basics. I love the reminder, because basically if you saw me looking down, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm getting all my stuff. I got my map here. Getting in the flow of doing my own projections, and not just boring number projections. I get to plan my life projections, and that is fun. So that's what we're going to have time for today as we wrap up here. I'm not going to go over the schedule of 3, 3, and 3, the map. What I do want to show you real quick for those that are filling out for the first time, we have a lot of new senior coaches here, or newer coaches, because I wouldn't say people probably get this down until they really, have been coaching for a while. But I wanted to break down a real map this month, as opposed to just a blank one board on the screen. So when you start a month, this is what I'm encouraging. This is what I'm going to do, because I haven't done my map for this month. So when we have this Power Hour time, we might go a few minutes over, just to have a quality Power Hour time, this is how you do it. You go to the bottom, you take an assessment of where you finished up the month at. And this is Suzanne's, and I want to show you what a real life moving to executive director looks like, because she actually nailed it. And I'm going to give some tips here, because this is what happens when you're growing. So clear vision at the bottom of where you're starting from. I always encourage, one thing, Suzanne, I would suggest to her is, doesn't matter if these aren't growing yet, always fill out your entire map. It helps you understand your entire business. I see some people nodding right now on my screen. Then come up here and create a vision of where you want to go. All these numbers line up. So write down the rank you want, the volume, the group volume, which would be you plus your team, new clients, how many new people do you want to help this month? And if you help those, where will your volume be? Your volume should make sense based on helping people. That's the beauty of the map. It makes sense when you're focused on helping people. Fill out how many coaches you want to bring on. And then this blank spot over here is for writing down anything that matters to you. Suzanne's was building more relationships, and I love that. And so you can see here at the bottom, the next thing to do is put down from your hundreds list. Feel free to write down, it gets your brain moving, the people that are at the top and the front of your, they're about to get healthy list. This could be for me, they've already told me they're getting started on plan, or we've been playing phone tag, or basically they've just been blowing up. I could tell they've been asking a lot of questions. The people that you can place a strong bet on, that if you continue to focus on them and just drip on them, they will get started in the next couple weeks. Then go over here to your map, go to your B-Slim report, and run your B-Slim report for your entire month. And you start, your B-Slim report goes in ascending order. So I'm basically talking to the newer coaches here that are learning this. Don't skimp on these things. This isn't a to-do list. This is what the people do that focus on people. Then right here, starting from the bottom, go in order of clients that are on full program. You put them on that list. It's kind of a cool check. If I keep supporting them, will they order this month? It's not about like Jen said, I'm not selling food. But if you're supporting them, if you're focusing on their health, if you're helping them moving forward, they need to stay up. They need their food to be on their plan. Like if you, basically, I remember what clicked for me, for all you new coaches. What clicked for me and what made me fall in love with this was like, oh my gosh. Like if I'm successful at helping my clients reach their goals, they have to order food. And that's how I get paid. So I'm paid on how successful I am helping them get to their goals. There's no shortcuts in this. So go ahead and mark down all your clients in here. It's a good chance to check all of them. You might notice that maybe one person's missing. That's like this helps you keep a good focus on your client. So fill this out. You can see that Suzanne, she was set up for associate director when she started this month. This is hers, I believe, on the 8th of the month that she filled out. And she's also got the people she's dripping on for coaching in here as well. So I just want to show you also what it looks like by the end of the month. So you take a picture, send this over to your support team so they can know where you're at and dive in with you. This, by the way, is what a map looks like when you use it to the full effect. Check that out and give Suzanne a round of applause. Like you see, there's people crossed off that list. There's people added to that list. It all makes sense. Oh my gosh, she filled it up all the way to the top and she's executive director. Actually, she's way beyond it. I think, Suzanne, are you 7,000 frontline volume today? I don't know. It's awesome. This is what a map looks like when you're doing it right and keeping it simple and having lots of fun. So hopefully this is a better example than just the boring old blank document explanation. This is what a real life map looks like. And so what I would encourage you is grab a map or finish up your month strong. We will have, I don't know, Don, what do we want to do? 20 minutes of focused work time. That way, as you're filling this out or getting your stuff ready, ask questions in the chat. The best way you learn is by doing. That's really the cool thing about it. So if you're focusing on setting up your month, these are the things to grab. Grab your 100s list. Make sure you've got that. Grab a fresh map. Print out multiple. I got 30 in the drawer, so I don't have to be oh my gosh, where's the printer? I got to do that. Grab a 3, 3, and 3 and get your schedule lined up. That's what we're doing right now. If you're anyone here that is working on maybe hitting a new mark and you're just you're working on that last final thing, anything goes right now. Messaging people, grabbing that list, putting a post out there, loving on someone, just following up, checking with your referrals that you've had, maybe checking back on a few people that have asked questions, posting having your clients post. There's a million things that we can do. You can use social media, you can reach out, connections to people, just being bold and inviting. One of my favorite things is sometimes when I'm just because if it's my reason to get people healthy, I'll just literally say, hey, you know what? Starting this next month, I want to check back with you. Did you want to get started so that we can work on your health in this month? It's a new month. It's just a reason to get started. So if that's where you're at, use all those different examples. And here's one thing that I wanted to do. I didn't get to it today. Is just for today. Because literally, honestly, I was seriously just blown away by National Optimal Health Day and the gratitude I have just watching you guys bust through. Those few stories that are shared on this call today are just a snapshot of what's happening all around this call. And just you guys are on the consistency call right now. I'm going to stop sharing my screen real quick. So what I got for you, and just because we feel so blessed with our little guy coming in, if this is a match for you guys today, till the end of the day, $25 scholarship for anyone that wants to get started on program today. Ashley and I are dropping it till the end of the day. If it serves someone in getting started on their health journey, we want to throw it out there just because we love you guys. You guys are consistent. You're doing the action. And honestly, we feel super blessed with all of this. So if it helps someone decide to change their health, utilize it. So we're going to put some time on the clock. Dawn, do you want to set us up for our power hour? If people need to go, because we use most of our time setting up our month, I think that the talk and what was shared today was well worth it. I see a lot of heads nodding right now. But Dawn, for those that want to stay on, I know I'm going to knock out a power hour. Do you want to set us up for 25 minutes of focused time to knock out some things?
I sure will. Yeah. And Brad, will you do the timer piece since I'm zooming from my phone?
I got you.
Yeah, thanks. All right, guys. So we're going to let's do 25 minutes on the clock. I know we're coming right up on the 1 hour mark. So if you got to go, that's fine. But if you can stay and you want to get some work done with us, we're going to do that. So what you want to do during a power hour is focus in on 1 or 2 things that you're going to get accomplished. So, wherever you're at right now. So if you are, because the month doesn't end until midnight. Love that, Denise. Thanks for putting that in the chat. Very true. If you're finishing up some things and you want to do some of the things Brad just said, focus in on doing that. If you want to get yourself organized, start filling out your map for next month, start doing that. Please don't hesitate to ask questions. Brad and I will keep an eye on the chat. Feel free, if you need to and want to, come off mute, ask questions. This is a working session. We're here. There's a lot of leaders here to help pour into you. That's why we're going to do it. So let's go ahead, put 25 minutes on, and let's get focused and intentional on what are 2 things, and just pick one to start off with. But what are you going to do right now that's going to help you take it more towards where you want to be the end of this month, which is the end of today, and as you're kicking off the beginning of October? Okay, Brad, anything you want to add there?
Nope. 8:20. We'll be back here. Feel free to ask questions in the chat. And the other thing is, like, if you guys are wondering, like, how did the people do this in the nooks and crannies? The way we're showing you and getting stuff done, this is the way we do it. Focus, pockets of time. So 25 minutes on the clock, going now.
Hey, Brad. Hi, sorry. Don't want to distract you in your focused power hour time, but Amber had a great question in the chat about how to connect on the scholarships, and I figured that's a really good question. A lot of other people are probably asking the same question.
Just set up your account and message myself, and I will put it on there.
Do you want him to text you or email you?
Text is better. Text or Facebook message. Or if you just want to get on top of it, take care of yourself, I'll reimburse you on it. Whichever one of those 2 options work best. Good question. Look at you guys like all like on point, working away. That was 25 minutes. Well done. Feel free to just mute if you want to keep on powering through, but we will wrap up here. I'm going to answer some of the questions we have here. Yeah, Annie, no, it went by too fast. And always, everything is a good practice. I learned like, wow, it's easy to get distracted. I got a bunch of messages from all of you guys while I was doing that, but I did get my map done. So rock on, like super good. Fun to see what you're going to create for next month. So I'm just going to answer a few questions real quick, and feel free to like hop off the chat. And Dawn, I might need your help on some of them. Are you there? Go back.
Yes, I'm here.
Real quick.
Since I'm working on my phone, I had to mute so people wouldn't have to write at my.
All right, Dawn, you want to help me answer these last few questions here as we wrap up? Great questions in the chat. I love that. Like, I love how the Power Hour works because it literally brings up the questions that you want to ask. So I love Debbie was the first one. It's like, okay, I've been meaning to ask this question for a while, so I'm gonna kick fear in the face. Tracking everyone who's commented on social media, asked about program, or liked a post is making crazy. It's easy when you're at home, not easy when you are out and about. You've messaged someone, a bazillion messages are, and there's a bazillion messages in your thread. You can't find them again. Ideas.
I've got some ideas on that. Brad, do you?
Go for it.
Oh, this for one thing, great question. Wait, anybody else out there feeling like sometimes Facebook takes over their phone? Or that messages kind of take over? Brad, one of the coolest things that I hope you guys can hear me. One of the coolest things that you showed me was how to silence those dingings that keep coming in. And then, so I check my messenger, like check my email. And I also, hopefully this is helpful for someone out there. I also set up scheduled times to go back and look and get everything kind of cleared out of my messenger and work through it. So I'm not trying to respond to everything all the time on the go. I used to be that way. But it's helpful for me now to just set times during the day where I hop in, I check everything, I clear it out, I check it off my list so that I'm not getting overwhelmed or feel like I'm losing things. So you can also, from a computer, search your messages. So if you've got their name on your 100s list and you know you want to check where that conversation's at, you search for their name, and then that thread will come up to the top so that you can look at it, check where it's at. Is that helpful? I hope that's maybe touching on that, the answer to that question.
Yeah, any of our people that do this stuff well, anyone can hop off and help answer. But Debbie, you can feel free to ask the question, like, or dialogue back with us on this. But here's what I would say on it is real quick is one, like what Dawn said, is if you haven't turned off your messenger so it doesn't just pop up on your Facebook when your computer is open, that's huge. I treat my messenger like an inbox, which means I only check back with people if they respond. And like, I don't know if anyone knows that trick, like in your inbox, you're supposed to like treat your inbox like a to-do list. Like once you've taken care of it, delete it or sort it. That way your inbox is literally the only things you need to take care of. So that's the same way I treat my messenger with that as well. You can search for people if you're trying to follow up. You can search their names or just type a new message and it'll bring up your previous message on your computer. I also use Messenger from my phone. So that way, like if I check a message and I need to like go back to it later on, if I'm mobile, I can actually push mark as unread and it'll still be at the top there as an unread message in there. That's how I keep them organized. But I would say my overall tip on that, because this is a great question, I guarantee a bunch of people are thinking it, is I would focus more on doing the 3, 3, and 3 in your connections and all of those things. Not as a to-do list, but as a, like, what is your business needs, and really like in like touching base with people like on your list, like using your list. Like you connect with people from your list. Some people will reach out to you, some people you're following up with. That's the point of like the 15 to 30 minutes of conscious time plugged into your day to just be present and take care of it in the follow-up day. So that's what I find is really helpful for me and other people. So does that answer your question, Debbie? Maybe not. Maybe she's nodding. I don't know.
Thank you so much for all those tips. I have been losing my mind. I like the idea of chunking the time and unread. I can get that. And then spending the time with my computer, not my phone and everywhere else that I am, just for that schedule time. Thank you very much. I'm going to totally do that this week.
Good. That's why I love this. Great question. Bunch of people were probably thinking it too, and super spot on. So yeah, those things are really helpful with that. Dawn, anything else you want to add to that?
No, I just think that I think I kind of got a glimpse of what might be happening if you're out and about and running around doing things and you feel like that as messages come in, they have to be immediately responded to, getting pulled away from whatever it is you're trying to be present with in the moment. I mean, Brad, I love what you said. Focus on what your business needs, what your intention is, set up time in your schedule to actually address it and work through those things. You run your messaging, you run your phone, you run your life. It doesn't run you.
Yep, exactly. Good tip. I'm gonna go to the next one here. What do you do with your past 100s list? Putting them out on the new one? Well, here's the thing is you don't need to do a new 100s list every single month. I find myself periodically, like I need to, Suzanne, this is a great question. I find that I redo mine every 3 or 4 months. Does that make sense? I grab a new one because so here, let me, I'm so ill prepared. Where is mine? They're right here. I have everything else right here, but I have mine right here and I have them all done. And then I have blank ones on the back. So I'm constantly adding to my list. So it's an evolving list. And then eventually it gets so tatted up and, crossed off that it's good to refresh it. Like to get your brain, just like Debbie was probably asking for that. It was like a refresh of your brain. That's what I find is helpful. So your list is always evolving. And that's honestly like when we explain to new coaches, and if we haven't caught this down ourselves, a list is just like the map. It's not something you just do as a to-do list. The point of a list is, one, to make your brain simple, but to stay connected with people. But more, it's the ever-evolving idea of thinking of people and writing them down, making you think of other people because you thought of that person, like, oh my God, and writing them down so you don't forget. I'm very passionate about this because at one point, I actually just got really curious. It was like a few years ago. I just decided to go through all my messages, all my inbox, and write down the amount of people that like I thought I could remember in my mind, and it was like over 30 people. And like I'm talking like 30 people that were like genuinely very interested in program. And I was like, wow, that's a mistake. That's 30 people like that could have gotten healthy. My bad. Like from a business standpoint, and honestly, from just like helping people standpoint, I dropped the ball on them. So that's the whole point of this. Good question. I'm going to kick this one over to you, Dawn. I would love tips on how to respond to people they ask. Wait, let me make sure I'm not missing one here. There's another one. How often do you follow up with someone who you have had a call with, but they did not say yes on the call? I have a lot of people who don't respond to my follow-ups anymore.
Okay. Well, I have follow-up Friday, so I set time in my schedule for that. But what I also look at every single person on an individual basis, how am I following up with them? In what mode of communication? And am I following up in a few different ways? And what is a follow-up? Is the follow-up, hey, how you doing? I'm thinking about you. Or like with each individual person, what's the next step in their journey? What's that next thing that can take them forward? So I follow up. It takes 10 to 12 times of touching back and being present in some usually for them to make a decision. It can take that many times. For one thing, I didn't realize that in the very beginning. I thought if I followed up with someone once or twice and the message kind of went cold, that they weren't interested. But the thing is, life happens. They're probably just getting their kids back in school. Maybe they got sick last week. So always come back and follow up. I mean, I probably once a week for a couple weeks, and then I maybe a couple weeks after that. I mean, but I follow up a good 7 to 10 times with someone, but I'm not rushing it. It sometimes can take a year. I've done a share call and talked with someone and then followed up with them. I make sure that they're getting my newsletter. If I have talked to them, then I have let them know that we have amazing community. I have invited them to be part of our client support page. They are in there. They're getting dripped on. They're marinating. So there's a lot of little touches going on without me even actually doing it. But it can be a year or even 2 years sometimes. And sometimes it's just a month or a week. But I don't feel like I'm answering the question very well. Basically, don't give up on the follow-up. Just know that each person is individual and, reach out in different ways. If you've texted them, maybe send a Facebook message, give them a phone call beginning of a month. It's a great reason to reach out and let someone know you're thinking about them.
It's a great question, Sarah. And I think part of it is just the confirmation that you're doing it right is sometimes like what the answer is. Dawn's good reflection. And I don't know, can I be pretty bold with you guys all this morning? Not just for Sarah's question, but for like everyone. Like this is like, I have permission to be pretty bold. Okay, I see some nods. Hopefully everyone's okay with it. I'll teach you about follow-up, but honestly, you don't have to worry about follow-up as much or how to do it right when you're focused on action. Like Grant Cardone is like one of my favorite authors and just content givers. Like, you know what? Like be so much in action that like you can't miss your goal. So like if you're focused on your like reaching out, content, dripping, starting conversations, honestly, you don't have to worry about following up. Like honestly, you're doing so much action that like you're gonna gravitate people in. So sometimes if like, just like, I'm not saying this for you, Sarah, I'm just saying in general, just a good thought process on this is if you are curious if your follow-up is effective or not, you should really possibly looking at how much reach outs, connections, content, like sharing, like are you doing? Because honestly, your content, your moving forward in your health, all those things, like those are your drips, those are your follow-ups. People love to be doing stuff with people that are doing stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it's, anyways, hopefully that provides some good content. But as far as follow-ups, the actual tangible stuff, Sarah, good stuff. If I've talked to someone and they're not, and like, I felt like it was a good share call, I'm always going to leave them with what the next steps are, which are always going to be contact me when you're ready. Like, this is so awesome. Up to you if you want to get started. I don't know, like me personally, like if you were talking and you're not starting right now, I don't know why you're not starting. Like that's honestly, like can I be like, I'm just going to, my bulletproof mindset. If they took the time to talk to us about health and it was somewhat of a match, why are they not starting? I'm not saying that I'm just saying like, that's my mindset. It's odd to me when people would take the time to talk to us about health and be like, oh, I'm not ready yet. So anyways, with that being said, follow-ups, leave them with the next step. Let them know to reach out to you. Let them know when you'll check back with them. But also just bring value to people. Just be relational. I would say that the biggest point of follow-up is use your follow-up Fridays. You know, have them be on your hundreds list. Sometimes it's a touch. Sometimes it's an extra like little deal. Bring value to people and don't worry about a transaction. Sometimes if we aren't conscious, this is just general, by the way, I'm not talking to you specifically, Sarah. I'm just saying in general on topic, is if you bring value to people and not get transactional, sometimes it's easy to get transactional. Oh, did you want to start program? Hey, are you ready to start program? You know, that can be very transactional. It's hard to respond to follow-ups like that. You know, like, has anyone, like, think about a time anyone's ever reached out to you. Maybe you weren't ready, but it was only a transaction. Hey, are you ready to buy this? Or are you, it's easy to excuse those. It's very difficult to excuse bringing value to people and questions that are easy to be answered. So I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling. Dawn, does that sound like good things right there?
Yeah, Brad, that's all awesome. Super helpful.
Sarah, does that help? And back to what Dawn was saying is like really talk to the person that you're talking to. So you can kind of gauge that also. Sometimes the answer is like, no wonder they're not responding to my messages. Like they're just some flaky person that reached out because they wanted a simple, like they were looking for an easy answer and they wanted cheap diet food. And that's not what I was offering. Like I watched Ashley do like a barrage of calls because she's in like this makeup group. And like she made one post and made a bunch of people like reach out. And she was like, okay, I'm just going to go through the gambit here. And like a bunch of them started, some of them didn't. She's just like, yeah, people were just like, they're just looking for an easy answer. Like, I was like, she's going to follow up with them. They're on her list. But like, she's smart enough. Like they were just reaching out. Like they weren't ready. Ashley can't be like, you can't be an amazing enough health coach to fix someone that's like looking for a simple answer. There's actually one person that's a really big crack up in that group. Just to give you the whole point of this, I'm gonna wrap this up because I'm going on a tangent here. Is like literally, she took the time to talk to Ashley. It wasn't the simple answer she wanted. She was looking for a quick fix. And then literally Ashley's all these clients in this group losing weight, and she keeps asking every single one of them why they're losing weight, and the answer is the same every single time. Actually do the work and get started on program. And she's looking for like. It doesn't matter how Ashley follows up with that person. They're not ready. So just stay in action, and those are the different ways to follow up with the individual person. Use your list, keep them on your heart, bring value. Hopefully that's good.
I think that's great, Brad.
Yeah. let's talk with your health coach. You can devise an easy good plan or a plan with that. Allison and Kaylee last week or whatever week that was really good about getting on, like tangibly going through and was really good. Let's see here. Allison was like that. Like their post, ask about their sweet kiddos, take back their friendship, not back the value. Really good. Yeah. See, Allison knows. Allison's a pro. And Sarah chimed in with another good question because I remember this tripped me up in the beginning too. Hey, so I'll let you answer this one, Dawn. How would you respond to when people ask, "Hey, what are you eating?" As I'm chomping on my Optavia bar? I'm sure there's something that I can say that would lead the conversation into a fruitful one. But like, anyways, the question goes on. But like, that's the ultimate question. I think we've all been there. Like, what would you say? This is like a good thing right here. And I'm gonna put you on the spot because I don't want to be on the spot because I could get caught off guard on this too. I don't know.
That so used to happen to me. Well, it still does, but I remember brand new sitting at the nurse's station up at the hospital and someone's like, "What are you eating?" And I literally like froze. Like, had I been eating an apple, I would have said an apple. Had I been, you know what I mean? So it was just, it's funny how we get in our heads. Honestly, when someone asks me, "Hey, what are you eating?" I say, food, awesome nutrition. It's part of my wellness plan. I mean, it's amazing. I don't know what is it that I say, Brad, what would you say? But I sometimes laugh at them. I'll look at them and be like, food, what are you eating? But no, seriously, if I was eating like an Optavia bar or something, I would just say, oh, hey, it's part of the wellness plans. It's part of how I fuel my body and keep myself feeling good all day. It's food.
Oh, Shirley. By the way, that's all really good. And I think Sarah's question is really good. Shirley busted in with the best answer, I think, so far is I say my favorite in between clients fueling because Shirley is a personal trainer. So that's a really good one there. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what, you can say anything, just like if it's like, oh, this is one of the bars from my nutrition plan. I don't know, something easy like, oh, hey, this is one of my fuelings from like I just like one of the things I first taught clients in the very beginning was when like they would be like, people would be like, oh, hey, like eat this, and they'd be like, no, I'm on a diet, and it's like that would be the worst thing you say because you're just inviting the targeted to be like, no, eat this, eat that. So I taught them to say, no, thank you. I'm on a nutrition plan right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because no one's going to mess with you when you're on a nutrition plan. They're actually going to cheer you on. But if you're on a diet, they're going to be like, oh, eat this chocolate cake. So like just anything that involves that you are – because think about it. Think about this real quick. I want to break down psychology. I want to get this all wrapped up here. But like think about everyone that wants to talk about their one green smoothie and post it on Facebook or blah, 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 or whatever. Or like the gluten-free this when they don't even understand what gluten is and maybe they're not even gluten intolerant or whatever the case may be. Everyone likes to brag about that stuff. Anything nutritional, like all natural, like health, vitamins, like anything in that department is going to be good. Like you're like, what? That's what you're eating? Dang, you're hardcore. Like that's awesome. Like anything you can say in that department is going to be good. So just say something. But I like what Shirley said. Casey messaged me privately. He's like, LOL. He liked my quote. Oh, you're on a diet? Eat this chocolate cake. Because we've all been there, right? Like, oh, you can just have one. It's fine. So anything like, oh, yeah, it's one of the meals from my nutrition plan. It's super, like, I love them. Like, I don't know. Here's another thing. People like to do what people are enjoying doing. So just say something fun about what you're doing. It's all good. Like, oh, yeah, this thing, it's awesome. Like, it's just one of my meals.
Yep.
Oh, why do you ask? Like, again, age-old stuff. Blah, 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 this. How do I make it about you? Gosh, Sarah's coming in with all the good questions. I think we have one last question here. Trying to get back because a lot of people are commenting, adding good value in here. Lynette wants to know what OAM report would I find my coach's activity. Connect with your support team on that. But if you're looking to find out, like if you're looking at your map and you're trying to find out their Be Slim report, just take their ID and put that in the ID place where you're running the Be Slim report. It'll tell you all of those things. But you know what? Good question. When you connect at the beginning of the month on your map, just go over that with Andrea and Dawn. That'll be good. I think that's pretty much everything. Good questions in the chat. Basically, congrats on everything this month. The last thing I would just say, like on top of my head, is one, I just loved everything. I was part of checking my messages was a lot of people actually took that like casting a vision to heart. I got some really good one. It's fun to do that. So hopefully you guys take the time to do that. Another good tip when you're filling out your map on top of the things we went over, mark down your income goals. And I just want to be really real with you guys for a second on this. Is I've watched so many coaches do this dance. Oh, I'm just doing it for, for fun. But we all know that, like, we're doing this also for income. And it's actually a good thing to do it for income. We get paid really well. You should be proud of it. It's like Ashley Miller quote of the year. But like, we're all here because we care about people. That's the only reason this is successful. I've watched so many coaches do this dance. Like, oh, emotion, not coaching and structure, blah, 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 blah. Like, oh, and then they don't ever even know what they're making. And then they start cutting back because, again, they're not living their life on purpose. Back to like what everyone was saying here, like living your life on purpose, casting a vision, structural tension. And then they go back and like now they're missing that income on all of those things. And so I would say to you guys, like, there's one reason for that, but also you grow your income. It's just another metric to grow, because you can't grow your income without helping people. I would really encourage you guys, like on your map, there's not a spot that says income, but write down what you want your income to be this month. One, it'll only help you to understand our compensation and like the driving forces that make more income, but you can't make more income in this business without helping more people. Like that's just like the growth plan follows income. And also like for many of you guys that know this really well, holy cow, I got paid that much for doing what I do. Like that's awesome. Like, so if it puts another pep in your step to do that, like, holy cow. Like I remember like talking to like Nicole, I loved her heart this morning. Like I remember when she was like, wow, like I'm changing my health. I'm helping others. What? I'm like, I have a full-time, like really respected, like awesome career. And on top of that, like I'm bringing in this much income on a side CEO business. Dang, like it just puts a little pep in your step. And if you're doing this coaching right, you should be making over $100 an hour, and you should be proud of that because you're changing lives. Like you all know, like the difference you're making in people's lives. So that's just another tip. Write down your income goals. That's what I got. Let's see here, making you have an extra bar. Ashley's chiming in, but she's probably got kids all over her. Did anyone mention making sure you have an extra bar to share or an extra ready to drink? That's good. You know what's so funny is I totally do that. That's a really good. So back to what Sarah was saying. There is Donald or Ashley was saying like sharing one of your meals with them. It's a good one. We actually did that yesterday with one of our neighbors. It was awesome. Good idea. Don says I do that too. All right, Don, that's pretty much it. I think so. Rounding this all out, you guys, and not everyone stayed on for the full power hour because this is the extra bonus stuff. Have a great great October. This was a fantastic September. If you're finishing up your month, finish it strong. October, let's get into those basics. Connect with your health coach. Make that plan. Do those basics. Root that routine. That's where the fun comes in. But also just stay the course because you never know what you're going to create. Actually, you kind of do know if you just stay the course. Where will you be by January? What trip will you be on if you just keep taking those steps? How many people will you help? All those things. So connect with your support team. Set up this month. This will be great. This was our last call for this, so we actually won't have any Saturday training calls for the next little bit, but we will probably start something small, probably in November, to do the same things to help keep the focus of the basics, but also to teach you guys the artwork of coaching people through the season where people maybe are focused on different things, because that's what a true health coach does. It doesn't end with just weight loss. So we might do something in November, but that's really it for right now. Signing off. Congrats on all of you guys tuning in and pouring the time in. Like Suzanne, like you said, like you felt like the squiggly line last month, but it all paid off. Like right before it felt like really weird, or right as it was feeling really weird, it got really awesome. So keep up the great steps, keep taking the next steps in your business, and just love partnering with you all. Have fun connecting today. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks, Brad. This was awesome.
It was really good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.